scalability actually matters in iGaming because volumes can spike very quickly, and we all know how the new markets, big events, and everything that's going on has an impact on that. So the operator growth can double demand almost overnight, and we experience some of those moments. So fintech companies need to handle that smoothly while staying compliant and reliable to their clients. However, that said, I don't think that every company should automatically aim to scale. For some, focusing on a niche, whether that's a specific geography, for example, or specific product type, or even set of clients that they want to continue with, can actually be the smarter move. Technology enables scaling, but people and partnerships sustain it. I would say that scaling works best when operators, affiliates, and regulators are true partners all together. Operators drive volumes, affiliates drive reach, and regulators make growth sustainable. Scaling is all about collaboration. We are building transparent relationship with our partners, and we focus on a long-term value. One of the biggest lessons that we've learned in USPEX is that scaling is really about people before anything else. Systems and processes can be upgraded quickly, but building a strong, adaptable team, that takes a lot of time. So for me, the key is over-communicating the vision and making sure that everyone understands in the company only not what we are doing, but why we are doing. But what really sets a fintech apart is reliability under pressure, transparency in how you work, and the ability to build long-term trust.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Ace Alliance Insights, where we bring you real conversations with leaders from the iGaming industry. In each episode, we discuss the strategies, challenges, and lessons shaping iGaming, from marketing and payments to regulations, technology, and more. I'd like to thank our today's sponsor, White Labels.io, the leading platform for finding and connecting with trusted white label business providers. And today we're going to talk about scaling fintech in the iGaming industry. So we'll talk about the challenges, what's really needed to succeed, and what lessons can be drawn from USPEX experience. So please give a warm welcome to my guest, Alina Ganceva, the Chief Commercial Officer at USPEX.
Hello, everyone. Nice being here, and thank you for having me.
Of course, this is really great to have you with us, Alina. And I would love to begin with your story. So could you share a bit about how your journey in iGaming started, what first drew you into the industry, and what your very first role was?
So my journey started in 2020 when the COVID came to our world. Before that, I used to work in the transportation company for almost 9 years and never thought that I would come to iGaming. After leaving the company, because all the borders and everything was closed, I decided to take a little bit rest. And then I was approached by one of the recruiters from the local company in Riga platform, and I was offered to come to the interview. So this is how my actually career started in iGaming, and I started as the account manager.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, since then I'm here.
That's amazing. That's quite a journey, I must say. What kind of experience did you have beforehand? Like you came into iGaming, but what's your other background? I'm so curious.
I was working with customers, so basically customer support service in the transportation company. I was like the chief of customer support. And before that, I used to work abroad in Greece and also in the travel industry. So it was basically all about customer service, all about communication and that kind of stuff. So that was I brought with me here in iGaming.
Amazing. That's quite a variety of different industries. I love that. And you said that you came into iGaming in 2020. So was there a defining moment or maybe a project in those years that really confirmed that this is the right industry for you?
I think every day in iGaming confirming that this is the right industry for me. So I used to work in platform. I used to work on the operator side, and now I'm on the payment side. So all those three different, I wouldn't say industries, but verticals, they actually confirm that this is the right place for me to be.
Incredible. And one of the milestones that happened recently is your promotion from account manager to CBDO to CCO. So first of all, congratulations on this new role. And how has this transition shaped the way that you maybe look at growth and commercial strategy?
Thank you very much for the congratulations. Yes, as a very ambitious person, this is a huge milestone for me. And actually moving from even Chief Business Development Officer to Chief Commercial Officer has really broadened my perspective. Now it's not just about like building partnerships, but also aligning growth with the overall commercial strategy and long-term value for clients. So it's definitely a step that pushes me to look at the bigger picture now, and exciting times ahead.
I'm really keeping fingers crossed for you, Alina. I'm pretty sure you will be massively successful in this role.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing this. And I think we can move to today's topic, which is scaling fintech companies. Why do you think scalability matters so much for fintech companies working with iGaming operators, for example? Do you believe every company should aim to scale, or are there situations where staying focused can actually be smarter?
So, yes, I do believe that scalability actually matters in iGaming because volumes can spike very quickly. And we all know how the new markets, big events, and everything that's going on has an impact on that. So the operator growth can double demand almost overnight. And we experience some of those moments. So fintech companies need to handle that smoothly while staying compliant and reliable to their clients. However, that said, I don't think that every company should automatically aim to scale. For some, focusing on a niche, whether that's a specific geography, for example, or specific product type, or even set of clients that they want to continue with, can actually be the smarter move. So it allows them to deliver a highly specialized value without the complexity that comes with scaling.
Amazing. And of course, scaling is never something smooth. It's a long process. What do you see as some of the biggest challenges in scaling iGaming brands, especially fintechs? Is it like the heavy regulatory requirements or strong competition on the market? Maybe there's something else that goes unnoticed.
Well, I do believe that regulation is a huge factor, and it has a big influence on all of us. And every new market brings different requirements, and staying compliant at scale is complex. Talking about the markets, it's not even the new markets. Now the markets that we all know about, they are becoming regulated as well. And this giving us an additional headache, I would say. The competition is another challenge, especially when multiple providers are fighting, I would say, for the same operators and payment routes. And but what often goes unnoticed is the operational alignment. Scaling isn't just about tech or licenses. It's about making sure that risk, compliance, product, and the client support all move in sync. If one of those lags behind, I think that the whole growth story can actually stumble.
Yes, 100%. I feel like it's so important to actually look at scaling holistically, like take a big step back and look at the whole process and then, cut it into smaller pieces that are more tangible. And then we can talk about, scaling and growth. And on the other side, what do you think is truly needed for scaling successfully? So is it technology, like you said, infrastructure, maybe partnerships? Is it a combination of many factors? I'd love to know your thoughts on this.
Yes, I'd say that successful scaling is never about a single factor. As I mentioned before, my experience was on the platform side, on the operator side, and now on the payment side. And all those three verticals, it's in order to have this successful cooperation with the partners within the industry, it's all about like combination. So you need a robust technology and infrastructure as the foundation, because without reliability and flexibility, growth just isn't possible. And I think that we all agree on this. But equally important are strong partnerships and a clear commercial strategy, since scaling in iGaming is often dependent on trust and collaboration across many parties. And maybe also most importantly, from my experience, it requires people and culture, teams that actually can adapt very quickly, that can align and keep clients at the center as you grow, because sometimes when you grow, you lose the quality of the service. So I would say that technology enables scaling, but people and partnerships sustain it.
I love that. I love that sentence. And what kind of partnerships, collaborations, whether with operators, affiliates, or even regulators, which ones make the biggest difference when scaling?
I would say that scaling works best when operators, affiliates, and regulators are true partners all together. Operators drive volumes, affiliates drive reach, and regulators make growth sustainable. For USPEX, for example, scaling is all about collaboration. We are building transparent relationship with our partners, and we focus on a long-term value.
I love it. And I would love to quickly move the topic to people, like you said, about the team. So scaling is not just about the systems or regulations staying in the frames, but it's also about teams. What have you learned about building and managing teams during periods of fast growth, and how do you keep company culture strong while expanding into new markets?
Yes, one of the biggest lessons that we've learned in USPEX is that scaling is really about people before anything else. Systems and processes can be upgraded quickly, but building a strong, adaptable team, that takes a lot of time. So for me, the key is over communicating the vision and making sure that everyone understands in the company only not what we are doing, but why we are doing this. And back in July, we had a very good 2-day strategic session with all our team, where we actually explained where we're going, why we want to go there, why we want to getting bigger and bigger in the industry. So, and now we're all on the same page. So culture is actually reinforced through consistency. I would say that it's very important to recognize the achievements, encouraging open feedback, and making sure that the team members feel connected to the same value from day one. So growth can stretch an organization, but if the culture is clear and lived daily, it becomes the glue that holds everything together.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And I actually really like what you said about over communicating. I think it's so important to always over communicate whatever it is, because you never know when somebody suddenly says, hey, what about this? We need to be very consistent in the communication and keep it going every single time. Now, standing out in the iGaming industry is another challenge, I would say. So with so many fintech brands on the market, how can a company truly differentiate itself? Do operators primarily look at the cost, or do trust, reliability, and long-term relationships matter more?
Well, I would say that it's getting harder and harder every day, because I believe that every day we're hearing about the new payment service provider coming into the market. So the cost will always be the part of the conversation, that's for sure. And this is actually the first thing that we've been asked by the operators, give us some good commercial. So, but what really sets as a fintech apart is reliability under pressure, transparency in how you work, and the ability to build that long-term trust. So operators want partners, not just providers. That's what I see, and that's what I've learned from my previous experiences. And if you can process at scale without disruption, solve problems quickly, and show that you are invested in their success, I think that becomes a much stronger differentiation than price alone.
Yeah. And when we talk about credibility, how much weight do you put on social proof, such as, case studies or testimonials or success stories when building that credibility?
Well, I want to believe that no operator ever signed a contract just because of a shiny testimonials. So at USPEX, we prefer to prove ourselves through real results like stable processing, timely settlements, transparency, and reliability, as I said before. But case studies can be nice. We definitely going to show them in our future. But true credibility comes from what we deliver every single day, not from what's written on a slide.
I actually love that statement. To me, it is very bold because I've always been hearing, testimonials are super important, and they are. They of course are. But like you said, it's really good to prove yourself through numbers and the actual results that you can give to the client, even in a one-to-one conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that the best testimonial for us is when we've been referred to the merchant by another merchant. And we had these cases. So this is the best testimonial that we can dream of.
Yes, word of mouth is absolutely on top of any marketing strategy that you can possibly think of, in my opinion. And from your own experience, what advice would you give to fintech companies that really want to grow in the iGaming sector? Are there maybe some common mistakes that you've seen, especially with businesses trying to scale too quickly or without the right foundation or without the right plan?
So from my experience, the biggest mistake is that not everyone comes into iGaming to play for the long time. And some providers enter the market, undercut on price just to win business. And then when the things go tough, they disappear. And the problem is that the consequences are left for the rest of us and our colleagues in the industry to clean up. My advice would be build with a solid foundation, focus on reliability and compliance from day one, and think beyond short-term wins. iGaming rewards partners who are consistent and sustainable, not just the cheapest option on the table.
Yeah, I definitely think that iGaming does not look for the cheapest option because, frankly, it doesn't always go with quality. It's really so important, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for sharing your thoughts on this, Alina. And one final thing that I would love to ask you is your view on the future. So we're not becoming Miss Trelawney, from Hogwarts, but where do you see iGaming headed in the coming years? And what role do you think fintechs will play in shaping that future?
Well, I think that iGaming is heading toward even more regulations, more localization, and more focus on player protection. And even like if we take in 5 years ago, it was everything different from what we have now. So this will raise the bar for both operators and the fintech partners. Compliance and trust will become definitely as important as the cost. At the same time, I see that there is a place for the innovation in payments, for new solutions on instant payouts, for new alternative methods, for open banking solutions, so for region-specific solution. The future belongs to companies that can balance innovation with responsibility and build partnership across market.
Absolutely. And Alina, thank you so much for sharing your journey and all the insights with us today. I just have one more question actually, because USPEX recently joined Ace Alliance Riga, which was we don't like to call it an event. We call it an experience. And I was so curious about your own impressions from that event for you as a fintech company and also as a sponsor.
Actually, as I said you before, and I also thanked Farouk for the opportunity to be the sponsor, we didn't regret it. We were very happy to see that Riga has something like that. And thank you for bringing this to Riga, because here in Riga, we have a lot of companies, a lot of operators, a lot of payment service providers, platforms, and we all need this space like that to communicate and to see each other like on the events. Because as I had a conversation with a good friend of mine here, we only meet at the exhibitions, but we are living in Riga. So we also met here at Ace Alliance, and it was really good. 2 days of very welcoming atmosphere. And the feedbacks that I heard, they're all very positive. So once again, thank you for that.
Thank you so much. It's very nice to hear. And what you said about, we only meet at exhibitions, I feel like it really goes beyond the professional life, because I myself live by the seaside. I never go to seaside. There's people traveling all across my country just to spend 1 week where I live.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's and also, Riga is such a beautiful city, and it has definitely become an iGaming hub. So, thank you.
And
so
we
much
were lucky with the weather.
Oh,
the weather
yes.
was perfect. It was really like someone sponsored it, and I believe it was USPEX as well.
I think there might be something behind it, because right
That's
now
true.
It's not so great anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. Alina, thank you so much for this conversation today. And for those listening, what's the best way to connect with you or learn more about USPEX?
So my LinkedIn profile is open for everyone who wants to reach out and who wants to grab a coffee or something. My next stop would be at the SBC in Lisbon, and also very welcome to contact me and set up the meeting. Telegram as well. I'm always open to the new connections. I believe that the networking is doing magic.
Absolutely. And I personally look forward to seeing you in Lisbon. So we need to definitely catch up.
Definitely. Some glass of good champagne as well.
Why not?
Yes.
Why not? Amazing. Alina, thank you so much for joining us today. It was such a pleasure to chat with you and hear your insights.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it was an absolute pleasure, like I said. And of course, thank you to everyone who tuned in and listened to us. And before we wrap up, I'd like to thank our sponsor, White Labels.io, the leading platform for finding and connecting with trusted white label business providers. Their support really helps us continue bringing you conversations exactly like this one. And we'll be back soon with more discussions that matter in iGaming. So thank you so much. Thank you to Alina. Thank you to USPEX. And talk to you next time.
Thank you.